What's going on? It's your boy T Will. We back with another video today. Um, Monday Night Football resulted last night, and that's the conclusion of the Wildcard weekend. Um, the Steelers put up a piss poor performance, and I think it may be the last game we see Aaron Rodgers play. Also, we got some other news. Um, some Cleveland Browns, Sheduer Sanders news, some Colorado Buffalo news, and we're gonna talk about what's next for the teams that got eliminated from the playoffs. So let's get right into this here. First topic I wanted to talk about is Sheduer Sanders here. Um, he has been probably the most scrutinized player that we've seen in a very, very long time. And I guess because who his father is, the support system he has, he gets overly criticized. But here's the thing that the Cleveland Browns media and fans need to realize: you're not going to get another quarterback that brings this much attention to your organization, that who, by the way, actually can play. They got people bringing up EPA and CDA, the FDA, whatever you want to call it. But let's just call it what it is. If you want to compare him to Tyler Shook, you have to look at Tyler Shook and what he has on his team. He has wide receivers that can make plays. Not to mention, he has a top pick at wide receiver from Ohio State in Chris Olave. If you look at the only other person you could say that's probably in the same situation as him is Cam Ward. Cam Ward, no, I don't even think he had Kevin really for most of the season because he went out with injury. Um, Jackson Dart, they got slot receivers, and also, they're gonna get Malik Neighbors back, which is better than anybody on the Browns roster at wide receiver. When you look at the Giants and you look at the Saints, they offenses are set up to be more successful than the Cleveland Browns. This kid came in at the back half of the season when most of the players are checked out, second string offensive line, and they always want to bring up stats. But let's be realistic here. When you going against the best of the best, and you don't have all your ammunition on offense, how are you going to be able to succeed? He had Harold Fannin, and then Harold Fannin went out with a groin injury. Tillman is always injured. Jerry Judy is not reliable as a wide receiver too. At most, he might be a three. And then you see why Denver Broncos got rid of him. And when you look at all these media in Cleveland and these people talk about him on the radio, it's just like, dang man, I don't know if there's like a worse situation you could have put yourself in with this media and the coverage of the team. It's not it's not healthy. And I think in one of his press conferences, he was saying, we need to speak some positivity. We need to talk about positive things, and then that'll bring positive outcomes. By the way, he closed the season out with a win against a team that had a way better offense than he did. He still managed on the last drive of the game to get the ball down the field and get it into field goal range to win that game. So when you look at that, you see, yeah, he made mistakes, but if you look at his highs, his ceiling could be really high. Tennessee Titan game, they say, oh, it's the Tennessee Titans. Well, he was the only quarterback to do that against the Tennessee Titans. So, what do you got to say about that? All the other top quarterbacks played against the Titans defense and they didn't do that. Why did he do that? Oh, because maybe he can play the offensive position. And then you got to look at how they was running the offense. Dylan Gabriel was always throwing the ball on first and second down a lot. Sheduer Sanders' offense was first down run, second down run, third down and long pass over and over and over again. And then they'll be in a third and two, and they'll put them in a five wide out. five wide out on a 3rd and 2. Then on the 4th and 1, you're gonna take him out and do a tight end sneak, and then he fumbles the ball. Like, come on, man. Like this is not like he was being hooked up and put in a situation where he could succeed. Let's see if he gets a competent coordinator, a competent head coach, a competent offensive line, and at least one damn receiver that can catch the ball besides Fanning. Because the problem that they're gonna run into, they're gonna keep on forcing the ball to Fanning. He's gonna keep on taking hits, 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 and then that's gonna shorten his season, which ultimately can shorten your career. Same thing with Judkins. Judkins is a young running back. They was running him into the wall so much, and he was getting exposed to too many hits, and eventually caught up with him. And after Judkins goes down, who's your running back? An undersized Samson? Now Rocket Sanders seemed like he got something in it, but why is he just now getting some playing time? Why he just now getting PT? Like it doesn't make any sense. So you can be a Shador hater, but the obvious thing here is that he did not get a fair chance. He didn't at all. You go from throwing the trash cans to getting in the game against the Ravens. You go from throwing the support staff to getting blitzed by the Ravens, you know? And the whole offense was predicated on a left-handed quarterback that was Dylan Gabriel. Then they have to switch everything up, and they didn't even try to protect Shador. Dylan Gabriel had more protection than Shador, period. Just watch the game. I'm not about to sit here and break it down and explain it to you. Watch the game, watch the situations they put them in. They always ran the ball on 1st and 2nd down. Then on 3rd down, please save us. And it's not just third down, it's 3rd and long. When the defense know you have to pass, there isn't no way to trick them. You ain't gonna do no play action on no 3rd down and 12, 15, or whatever. You ain't gonna be able to do that. But they do that to the kid every single game. The offensive linemen don't block, and then he gets killed. And then the throws that he did made, it was a miracle that he even fucking made them. Then on top of that, they said he can't run. He was a leading rusher game after game after game after game. So when you watch this and you see this stuff and you're just looking at it from the outside, it just seems like either they just don't like Shador or the Cleveland media just don't want him there, and they just want to find some kind of savior quarterback. But here's the problem: you can trade your draft picks, you can do all that, and you're gonna set yourself back even further when you need offensive tackles. You need another running back because Junkins is injured. Then you need wide receivers. So when you look at it that way, you ain't got no extra draft capital to be messing around trying to trade up and trying to get a quarterback that you're gonna overdraft, and it's not even gonna be better than the quarterback that you have on the roster. Okay. Then on top of that, you still got holes at offensive line, you got holes within your wide receiver core, and you need another running back that's gonna be able to take some carries off of Junkins before you run them into the ground. All this is common sense knowledge to anybody that know football. Period. Period. Like you ain't gonna be able to do that. So y'all can do whatever y'all gonna do. And if y'all get rid of Shador, then hey, y'all get rid of him. But guess what? He gonna land on his feet. And I'm gonna keep on watching the brother, supporting the brother. But it's like y'all want this dude to come in there and be the savior of a team that is ass. And then Miles Garrett is getting up there in age. Denzel Ward is getting up there in age. Eventually, those guys are going to be done. So now you got to replace an elite cornerback, and you got to replace one of the greatest DNs in the history of the game. So every year that check is going that bill is going to come due, and you're going to have to pay for it. And if you keep on trying to throw a quarterback out too quickly and not build the rest of your team, all you're gonna have is a whole bunch of non-developed quarterbacks that you drafted in holes all over the roster, and that's what y'all gonna be looking at. Once it come to Cleveland and free agency, the only way you're gonna be able to get somebody there is if you overpay for them or if you trade for them. So if you're not trying to build this team from the inside, then you're gonna have a very hard time. I don't care what quarterback you think you're gonna get. I don't care what savior you think gonna come save you. Ain't nobody gonna save you. You got a young quarterback. Give him a shot. If you give him a fair shot and he don't succeed, then okay, I can rock with you. But if you're gonna throw him in on the back half of the season with the second string offensive line, you got players coming in off the practice squad, and if you watch the Bengals game, the guy you could tell he was on practice squad. He had a dime right to him in the end zone, the tight end. I think 87. He dropped the damn ball. That was a touchdown. That was a touchdown. And then the one throw that everybody kept on complaining about, I believe it was either I think it was the Steelers game. Yeah, it was the Steelers game when he threw that touchdown to Harold Fanning. He said, "Oh, it was a bad pass." Well, if you watch the play as he was throwing the ball, the offensive lineman was in his lap, literally, helmet in his face mask, and he damn near stepped on his foot, and he still threw the ball, and he still got it there. So when y'all talk about these plays and y'all talk about this stuff, y'all need to make sure that y'all analyzing everything and getting things correct instead of just not looking at the whole damn picture. Because the stuff that I hear these people say, "Oh, he shouldn't be on the team," it's just disgusting. It's disgusting. If you compare Shador's stats to Mendoza's stats right now, it ain't even close. And I'm not even talking about Shador's best year. I'm talking about maybe one of his lesser years. He's still better than Mendoza. But all y'all that like to glorify and overhype these quarterbacks because they're part of a system, y'all gonna get what y'all asked for. Next up, we got Mr. Jordan Seaton here. I've been following the Colorado story from the beginning. I remember when this guy was going to go there. I believe Tennessee was a very huge player in his recruitment before he went to Colorado. It was Tennessee and Maryland that was really trying to go after him. Now, I don't know if this is true. Allegedly, they're saying that he's requesting 2.5 million. Um, and when you look at Colorado, they're not like a big time financially back school, especially when it comes to getting players to, a single player 2.5 million, um, when you can probably spend that on multiple positions. And now I think that Coach Prime is realizing that, he'd rather have more quality guys than one superstar because he's just not going to be able to pay one guy 2.5 million and have holes everywhere else. It ain't gonna work. So you'd rather have solid guys than paying for one great guy and a whole lot of just filling guys. So, um, but this is just another example of the portal. And I remember last year when Jordan Seaton was getting, you know, talks about going into the portal last year. They were saying, "Hey, man, um, are you leaving Colorado?" And he's like, "No, I'm not leaving. I committed here. I'm staying here. I don't know what brotherhood is anymore because everybody's transferring." Um, and it's different, man. It's different. And he's probably gonna get more than 2.5 million. He might get six. He might get five. But best of luck to the brother, and we'll see where he lands, man. Good luck to you. Next up, we got the Houston Texans versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Um, the Steelers, they're just old, and DK Metcalf is not a number one wide receiver. CJ Stroud fumbled the ball a lot in this game, could have gave this game away. Pittsburgh was in the red zone multiple times. They did not capitalize, and this is probably going to be Aaron Rodgers' last football game. Um, But Nico Collins, man, he keep on getting hurt every damn game. It seemed like he went out, but Christian Kirk was balling, 144 yards. Woody Marks, running back out of USC, 112 rushing yards. They did their thing, but the problem is Pittsburgh couldn't run the ball, and Aaron Rodgers just didn't have enough time to pass the ball, or people weren't just getting open. I seen DK Metcalf dropped at least two passes that would have put him in excellent field position, and it just went right through his hands. So you see why Seattle got rid of him. You see why they believe in Jackson Smith the Jigma, and it's going to be very interesting to see what the Steelers do moving forward. And Yeah, the Houston Texans move on, but if CJ Stroud's continue to turn the ball over into the next round, I don't know if they'll be able to win that way. Now he was throwing the ball well. I just think that him and the center, they need to all week this week in practice, they need to get, some clarification on, hey man, do not snap the ball until I'm ready and make sure that I'm ready to receive this ball. And if they get that worked out, they should be good. They should be good. He had one pick, but man, he was spreading the ball around the field. Him and Christian Kirk was showing out together, and I think if he just gets his confidence and stop being seem like he's nervous, a little jittery in the pocket. He don't want to take a sack. He want to just try to throw the ball away, or he's always trying to like make a play, and then it's just not the right idea. So this game should have been a blowout anyway. Pittsburgh did not show anything on offense. You see Jalen Warren here with 43 yards. Um, DK Metcalf with 42 yards, like that's just not gonna cut it. They got Thielen, who's basically on his way out of the league. Um, and then Aaron Rodgers is always cussing people out and yelling at them. Like, I don't know how you can play with somebody that's just cussing, and fussing, and yelling at you. You should be. You just see him on the TV. You should have went over there, this motherfucker. Like he just complaining like an angry old man every game. And I don't know if people like that energy. If I had somebody complaining like that to me, and they depended on me to run my route and give me the ball, I'm gonna have a problem with that dude. And his attitude is just real shitty, and he acts very entitled. I understand he's a Hall of Famer, but to be showing up your teammates like that every single possession, you complaining because you didn't complete a pass, he's not gonna be back in Pittsburgh, man. They can say whatever they want to say. Excuse me. Next up, the Chargers versus the New England Patriots. 16-3. This wasn't even really an interesting game. It was a very boring game. To be honest with you, it's the same Chargers that we've been seeing the last couple weeks. They just struggle to move the football. They struggle to score points. Justin Herbert is just getting killed. Um, I understand he doesn't have Joe Alt and he doesn't have Slater. Um, they didn't have their running back for most of the year, and he was still banged up in that game trying to fight through whatever he was fighting through. Uh, I thought last year Lad McConkey was really showing out, but it didn't seem like he was getting to it this time. And then what's the other guy's name? Number one from TCU. He seemed that he was getting better this year. He had more confidence, less drop balls. But when Justin Herbert is the leading passer and the leading rusher, that's kind of a recipe for disaster. And that dude was just getting tore up. Like, I don't even know how he stayed in the game. And then you see Lad McConkey got 32 receiving yards. That's no good. Drake May with the 66 rushing yards, 268 yards passing. Um, this kid is very, very outstanding, and he might be able to get the New England Patriots to the Super Bowl. But yeah, off season, Jim Harbaugh, they need to, get their guys healthy on the offensive line. They probably need some more offensive weapons at wide receiver. And they had a young tight end Gatson that was coming on, and they probably need, I would say draft another running back because, you know, the backup running backs that you had after the guy you drafted this year was just non-satisfactory, and we need to find a way to see if the Chargers will be able to improve. But to me, he's doing very good coaching and getting wins. It's just when they get to the playoffs, they can't score points and they're not healthy. So you can't win like that. Patriots been good all year, and they move on. Next up, San Francisco 49ers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Um, Jalen Hurts, he had I'm not gonna say he had a bad game, but the wide receivers didn't help him. Um, Brock Purdy, he turned the ball over. He didn't have a clean game, but at the same time, um, San Francisco just figured out a way to win. They lost, George Kittle. Um, the Eagles struggled on offense. Saquon Barkley, he had a couple breakout runs in the first half, but then the second half kind of died down. Um, and the Niners just have great coaching. They have great belief in their players, and their players are, disciplined and focused. And it kind of looked like the Eagles was going to win this game at the end, but then the Niners just pulled it out with the trick pass from Jennings. And yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending champions, go home. It's really interesting to see what they're going to do in the offseason with their offensive coordinator. And I wonder what the 49ers game plan is going to be coming into next week with no George Kittle. And I really wish they would answer the question about Brandon Ayuk. Like, what's the deal? Like, he been out for a very long time. Is he like refusing not to come back? They don't even talk about him at all. Like, it's really weird. Like, after the season, hopefully we'll hear something, because the only thing that I've seen on social media is him flying past the stadium doing like 100, and other than that, they don't speak of him. So maybe their relationship is severed, and maybe he'll be on his way out. But the San Francisco 49ers move past the Philadelphia Eagles 23-19, and all offseason you're gonna hear about Jalen Hurts ain't this, Jalen Hurts ain't that. AJ Brown won out. He was on the sideline arguing with the coach. So we'll see. Very interesting off season. We got some good off season stories, coaches that may not be coming back to their teams, and it's going to be a very interesting off season for the Eagles. I want to see what they do, who they keep, who they get rid of, and what's the plans moving forward. All right, we got the Buffalo Bills and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, man. T. Lawrence, he was just messing up. Um, I don't know exactly what happened with him in this game, but I thought he was going to do better. It was kind of disappointing. It was disappointing they didn't have Travis Hunter. I was hoping that he was out there, but I know he got hurt earlier in the season. He had surgery, and I knew he wasn't going to be in this game. But it's just like, as a fan, you hope to see everybody have all their players, but they didn't. But Josh Allen is a dog. Uh, did everything on his own, and yeah, man, he did his thing. I would have to say that he did his thing. Man, what's going on with this? Bo Nix is like not he's not on Josh Allen's level, and everybody gonna see that. So once again, the Buffalo Bills go down. Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville Jaguars got a lot to do in the offseason. They should be back next year, ready to go with Travis Hunter. So can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see that. What we got next? Green Bay Packers versus Chicago Bears. Um, Green Bay Packers versus Chicago Bears. This was I don't even know how the Packers lost this game. Like I don't even really got no words for that. Uh, you thought that Jay Love and them was gonna close it out on these guys, but they didn't. Caleb Williams made spectacular plays at the end of the game. Um, and for some reason, man, Jacobs at running back in these playoff games, man, he don't never break out like that. Like ever since he left the Raiders, he's solid in the regular season, but when it gets to the playoffs, it seems like he's either hurting or he not 100%, and he just I don't know. I just ain't never really seen a big playoff game from him. And I think if he was able to maybe rush for 100 yards, we might be having a different conversation. But again, Chicago Bears beat the Green Bay Packers 31-27, and they move on to the next round. Um, but I don't think against the Rams the Bears will be able to fall behind because Matthew Stafford he guns and he gonna gun you down. And if he's up, he's gonna try to get a bigger lead. And Sean McVay is so aggressive on offense. He not just finna chill and be settled with a three-score game. He want to try to make it a 4 or 5 score game. So very interesting. The coaching personalities that's gonna be in that game this upcoming weekend, and I can't wait to see it. But wasted effort for the Green Bay Packers. Uh, Marker Parsons is out for the season, and we on to the next year for the Packers, I guess. Finally, we have the Los Angeles Rams and the Carolina Panthers, and I didn't even think this game was going to be close. I thought the Rams was going to blow them out, easily. Obviously, it's the playoffs; anything can happen. Bryce Young showed a lot of poise and confidence. You know what I'm saying, keeping his team in the game. And at the end there, Puka Nakua knocked the interception out of the defender's hands, which pretty much probably was the play of the game that saved these guys. Um, but at the end of the day, the Rams are a more talented team. They have more offensive firepower. And next week, when the Bears play against the Rams, we probably gonna see why Matthew Stafford is gonna be named the MVP this year. And yeah, we're just gonna wait this weekend and see Ben Johnson. That's like the to me, I feel like the Bears versus the Rams is gonna be like one of the most intriguing games. But also San Francisco versus Seattle gonna be a heavy banger too. So that is the closeout and the updates for this past week. As we going into the divisional round, games are gonna be tighter. You know, players might be a little bit more tighter. You're one game away from the championship game, and that championship game is the next step to the Super Bowl. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the games play out this week. Um, and we'll probably do a preview show of the matchups at the end of this week, probably Friday, I would say, because there's no CFP playoff games this week. So we got the national championship game on Monday night. We'll probably preview that as well. So yeah, you guys keep on checking in, hit them notifications, subscribe, like, share, and I'll see y'all next time. And as I always say, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. God bless. Remember that.